What's going on, guys, and welcome back to Horror Corner 90, and today we're looking at The Vanishing from 1988, the original. There is obviously a 90s version with Kiefer Sutherland, which I also liked. Horror Hands actually recommended this one on one of his videos, so I thought I'd check it out, and I was pleasantly surprised. As I said, I like the 90s version, which is kind of like the remake with Kiefer Sutherland. I actually thought that was an original film until the Horror Hands have exposed me to this one. It's a French film, subtitles, so if you're not a fan of subtitles, then you might not have the patience to watch it, but I feel like test yourself and watch it, because I highly recommend it. I was really impressed by this film. It is dated, and that kind of plays on it a little bit, but I feel like the actual quality of the film in terms of the storyline, the twists and turns of it, it's just ferocious, cruel, calculated, manipulative. It does a whole lot, this film, and I actually think it's on par with the remake, if not better. And they went slightly off. I feel like the remake doesn't follow this one like identically, which is also quite cool as well. So this couple are kind of on like a road trip sort of thing, and they stop at some services, and the girlfriend goes in, and after a while the boyfriend, or they're kind of labelled as friends, but they're really girlfriend and boyfriend. She goes in to get a drink and go to the toilet and stuff, and after a while the guy realises that something's not quite right. Where is she? What's taking her so long? And then the film sort of goes from there, and pretty much the whole of the film is about that. The guy that plays the boyfriend in this is very relatable and believable, and you kind of go on into his mind with this, in terms of you kind of feel like you're there, you're him experiencing that lose sight of your child or someone, like, or as a kid you might remember getting separated from your parents or something, and then there's that instant panic and sort of anxiety straight away until you find them again. It's kind of like that, but on a whole nother level as well. You're not sure throughout the film if he's going to find her again. I think just keeps you on the edge of your seat. It's nearly 2 hours long, this film, but it doesn't feel like it. I think it's got a good pace into it. The kidnapper themselves is very believable. I enjoyed his performance as well. Very psychotic. Even though he's psychotic, it kind of feels like to him it's just normal, and I think he plays his part really well. He shows no remorse. He's very cold, calculated, intelligent, the way he goes about sort of planning how he's going to do things. And to him, this is just like it's normal behaviour. But at the same time, he knows how to kind of avoid the police and anyone looking and trying to look into things. This expands over like 3 years as well in the film after the girl goes missing, which I like about it as well, because it goes to things like missing posters and stuff, and it kind of gives you that is she ever going to be found kind of vibe, which is like, I felt like it's a really realistic like take on it. You could relate to that in real life as well. The kidnapper in this is very calculated. There's scenes where he's making notes and planning and kind of drilling and practicing his movements and how he's going to try and get people and lure them into his like car and stuff, which I thought was really cold and troubling, but it works well for the film. Like you sort of step into his world behind the scenes of him before he commits these things, and I think it just adds to like his coldness and like the lack of remorse, and just really lets you sort of dive into his character, even to the point of where he's drilling things with his kid, but obviously doesn't take it too far, because obviously it'd be too obvious then. But just very subtle things in it as well, where he's like practicing like locking the car door and stuff, and yeah, very clever. There's some really twisted and cold scenes in this one. Not a ton of them, but the few that are in it, I think work really well. There's a cruel, twisted kind of ending, which I really liked, which just sort of tops the film off. Cherry on top of the icing at the end, which just adds to it as well. As I said, I'm a fan of the remake of this with Kiefer Sutherland, but for this, the original, it was probably slightly ahead of it, so very impressed. The Vanishing from 1988. Letterboxd rating 4 out of 5. The best film I've watched so far out of the reviews I've done. From this as well, when you watch it, you can tell that it's not got a huge budget behind it, and it's a little bit dated. But the overall quality of the storytelling, the storyline, the characters, and the development of it really pays off, or it did for me. So I'd highly recommend that you check this one out if you haven't seen this one, especially if you've seen the 90s one and are a fan of that, like I was. The Vanishing 1988, letterbox rating 4 out of 5. Hope you enjoy it, guys. I'll be back soon with another review. Appreciate all the horror fans. See you next time.